Hello all and welcome to our crochet yet again for another tutorial. My name is Mary and I'm coming to you with part 5 of our Lovey. And as you can see, I'm in a bit of a giggle over this guy's hair. What happened was I did really well at putting his hair, attaching his hair to his head. Then I got scissor happy and I made a mistake because I wasn't straight. So I'm going to ask Frances, my daughter, or my hairdresser niece, to see if she can fix his hair for me. So it's a little bit messy, but I will get that all sorted out before our vlog on the weekend. But in the meantime, for this tutorial, you will need to use your 3-point, oops, let's get it close up, so stop blur, that's better. Your 3-point hook. You will need to use your gorgeous merino soft yarn. That same yarn that we use to make the Amigurumi's head and that we use to make the blanket. And you will need, yes, you will need a gazillion pins, and I'm going to show you why you will need a gazillion pins. You pop the pin inside him, and that's where you're going to start the hair, or there, or wherever you pop the pin. So before you start doing his hair, pop the pins in an angle that the way you want to start his hair. So you will need quite a few pins for that. I don't know, 50 maybe. You won't use 50, but I'm just saying, just trying to give you a rough idea. Maybe 20, 10, 15. It doesn't matter. You can decide once you start. But it's a very long tutorial, so I'm not going to talk anymore. Don't forget, guys, if you want future tutorials, you need to subscribe to the channel, and you also need to hit the little bell button so that you can receive all of the tutorials in your inbox. Guys, I'm not going to talk anymore. We are going to get our little guy's head done, and then yours truly is going to work out how I'm going to fix this terrible scissor job. Anyway, let's get started. Here's your little amigurumi head. Now, the question you need to ask yourself is what kind of hair you would like for him. For me, I am going to do a short fringe in front and then just a little slow drop of hair down the side there and a little bit at the back. I'm not going to overdo it because I may not have enough yarn. I think I do have enough yarn, but I'm not going to overdo it anyway. And I don't want to have the fringe too close to his eyes because that will, just, you don't want to cover them because they're quite thin. So we're going to make his fringe come across just along there, right? So I would start, and again, it's up to you. It's your own discretion of where you want his hair to be. You could use a measuring tape to measure up a certain amount of centimeters, or you can just do what I do, pop a finger there and just pop a pin anywhere for now. And when you are weaving your hair in there, you're going to end up with that. So you're probably going to have to trim the hair anyway. So instead, we are going to bring that right across there. Okay? So I'm giving him just a little bit on 2 fingers there. Now, this is a part where you need to skip 1 single crochet and go straight into that next chain. Later when we're doing it, you'll see what I mean. So that's got to go right there. You've got a middle stitch there. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. Let's have a quick look. You've got your middle stitch there, and then there's a stitch right next to it. All right, and we're going to skip that middle stitch completely because it's going to be very tight to get into and then go to the next. Now, you might find that it's easier to follow these lines if it's easier for you. I think it is, to be honest with you. So you're skipping 1 stitch and you're going into that line right there. And you're skipping that whole stitch there and into the next line. And I think we might even have to skip a 2nd stitch because this is very, very tight, my stitching. And I'm not sure what your stitching is like. But if it's as tight as mine, you may need to skip more than 1 stitch. We'll see. Once we start getting our thread through it, we'll see. There we go. See, it's really tight in the middle. I might end up skipping 2 stitches. We'll see. I'm not fussed, okay? Now, how far down do you want your little guy's fringe to be? I think that's too long for a fringe, right? If you want your fringe to come downwards, you need to pull the thread through back, and then the fringe will flop down. When you see it, you'll know what I mean, okay? So in the meantime, we're going to get started with just this. Now let's see if we're exactly near the eye there, yes? And we've gone too far there. So we're going to take that one out, pop it in there. I think we are now set. So move everything out of the way. I found this really old coaster. You're going to wrap your yarn around your coaster for as many times as you want to wrap. Okay, here we go. I would say that's enough for now. Okay. Now, we can always do more later. Don't stress too much. So you just get your scissors and you cut along there. Trying not to cut your coaster, which I've done a little bit. It doesn't matter, it's old. All right, so there we go. This is how we've got his hair so far. So the first one we're going to do, now remember how I said we're going to pull it from the back through to the front. So we're going to turn it this way. We'll take out our first pin and we're going to pop our hook through a section there. Now I moved it forward a little bit, but that's okay. I'm going to grab one of these threads, pop it over your hook like so. All right, now pull your hook through. Let's see if I can get a nice close up there for you. Pull your hook through. Now this part, you can either do it with your hook, where you grab it and just pull the whole thing through that way, or you could have used your fingers as well to pull it through. All right, so there you go. By pulling it the back to front, you're allowing it to fall forward. Now that is so long, okay? But if you wanted to later, you could just pull it forward that way, or you give him a trim. Now we are going to just grab one each, and it might help once you pull it out, keep your finger there so you know where to put your hook, like that, okay? Being careful not to pull up any of the stuffing from inside. Pull it through. Whoops, I've lost that. Actually, that gives me an opportunity to show you how to pull it through with your fingers if you wanted to. Now, I'm finding this thread's a little bit too small to pull through with the fingers. But if you wanted to, you know, you can do that as well. No, it's too small, but it doesn't matter. Now, that's not very straight. I didn't make that even, but I'm not too worried because I'm going to cut his fringe about that much across anyway. So we probably could have made his fringe a little bit smaller, but I didn't have a coaster small enough, so there you go. All right, so we're going to pull that out of there. And we have I've noticed we have brought it forward a little bit, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. Okay. This is why I dislike doing amigurumi. Don't tell anyone. I do dislike doing them because it's all too fiddly for me. This is all too fiddly and I really don't take well to it. But we're going to keep going, guys. So what I want you to do, keep going all the way across with your little fringe and get as far as you want to about there and meet me up when we get to there. Okay? Okay, that's my last one for now. Oops, it's not working. Let's try that again. Really tight mine is. I've got Francis to do it really tight for me because I actually like the amigurumi to be tight. I think that it makes a more stable amigurumi, stronger amigurumi, if that makes any sense. All right, so this is the fringe. All right, don't stress again if you're not happy with it. Okay, well, don't forget we do have to cut it and all. I'm not going to worry about doing hairdressing yet. If you're not happy with the size of your fringe and you want more fringe, then you can just add more fringe later. But for now, what we're going to do is we're going to focus on adding the sides. All right, so when you're ready and you think you've got enough, okay, you just have a look at the eyes and and come down a bit. So you go one back and one down. One back and one down. So it's actually going down that way. All right. I'm making him a he, I've decided. So I'm going to make him short hair. So it's going to stop around there. Okay. So one back and one down. All right. One back and one down. And then I'll consider going just as low as we want. You can go as low as you like. All right. But remember, guys, this you have to go all the way over. You have to keep going over and over and over and over and over, which means you need to have a lot of yarn. All right, so one down and one back. Okay. I think actually this one might come down a bit more this way rather than there. There. And then one down and then one back. Okay. Keep grabbing your pins, put it down as far back as you can go. I think this side here is not really that even, but it looks even now. It's starting to look even. Bring that over. It's gone too far down there. That's better. One down and one back. All right. So you see how that's kind of looking even? Now, again, it doesn't have to be perfectly straight. Okay. What it has to be is perfect for you. All right. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to put a fifth one. And again, I'm not worried if it's not that straight. So there you go at the back. That's the back of his hair. So we're going to put more strands along this way. However, because we wanted his fringe to drop forward, we put the hook that way. Now this, we want it to drop down there. So we are going to bring the hook this way. All right. So take out your pin, pop in your hook right there. Again, if it's a little crooked, don't stress. There is no right or wrong way of doing this. All right. Oops, I got it all stuck in the pins now. Oh, clever mare. Should have worked from the bottom up, shouldn't I? But no, it's better this way because we want to see how far down we want to go. I'm not too worried again. If you're not happy with it, you can pull the thread out. You don't have to keep it there. Take it undone. So that now, because we went up from that way, it's going to drop downwards. All right, it's going to drop down. There it goes. It's already dropped. So you've got your fringe coming forward and your side of the hair coming down. So it's kind of got a little part there. Later, when we're finishing doing the whole round, if you want to, oops, sorry, when we finish doing the whole round, if you want to fill in that gap, you can. Again, it's entirely up to you how you want it to be. So we're going to do the same here. Take the pin out, pop your hook in, which I think was around there. Just be careful not to pull the fluff like I'm doing, and almost all of my threads pulling through. All right, so what I'm going to do, so you don't have to sit here and watch me do all of them, I'm going to do both these sides, and then I'm going to come back. I want you to do the same. Fill in your area, your areas of hair where you want your hair to be. All right. I'm going to do all of those and all of those, and then I'm going to meet you back here. All right, go ahead, do that, and we'll meet back. All right, I just wanted to show you, I did finish that one side right there. Now, to do this side, we put the hook this way and then over. To let it drop that side, you put the hook that way and then over. We want our hair to go down, so we're going to go from the top and over. Is that right? Is that what we want? Yeah, I think so. Let's try one. Let's try one. Yours truly has not done this for a very long time. And I'm not real good with making the hair part of it. I'm not real good with the amigurumi part, which is the reason why I got Francis to do the amigurumi part. Pull the loop through. and over she goes. All right, so you're going to pull out the other one and you're going to do exactly the same right there. Oh, well, we're not winning. It's so tight, these stitches. And there we go. I'm going to pull out that other pin for now. Actually, I think I have messed up. Sorry about that, guys. Right there. Mary, get it right. Oh, get it right. Again, no right or wrong way. If I mess up, I'm just going to add a few strands in to even it out. Okay. Whoops. Get your threads right, Mary. Okay. All right. So there's your ones coming down this way. That's going down that way. And these will go down this way once I've finished. All right. So go ahead, do your sides. When you get your sides done, I'll meet you up and we're going to start working on the back. Okay. All right. So right now it just looks like a bit of a disheveled mess. Now with the back of the head, there is no right or wrong way to put it. However, you would want to make sure that your threads, like these are going down this way, you would want to make sure that your threads go down. And nothing worse than you do it and it's all sticking up this way and you've got all this fringe and not enough back. So you would want to make sure that they start going downwards. So I would, probably the best thing to do would be to work on how low down you want to put your hair at the back. Now, personally, I would like his hair to drop, whoops, about there, right? So that means we would probably need to, see how we've finished off there? We would probably need to just pop it around that row there and finish off there. I didn't do that third one, did I? I'm sorry. All right, so we would just grab that stitch there. We might make it a bit higher. Grab it there. Right there. Let's take that out and we'll do it over here. Yep, we're going to bring it up a bit higher. So when your hair, once you've put your hair on, it looks like that. It's far too long. So we're even going to bring it up higher. Because these are going to be cut shorter. This is like a side fringe. It's going to be cut shorter. So when you are finished, you're going across and up the top, across and up the top. Again, no wrong or right way of doing this. Just also, you need to remember that if you are going too low here, then you have to keep adding more here. You need a lot of threads, okay? I think I'll pop a few threads there with this row right here, and we'll have a look, see, and what it looks like. We'll pop some threads there like that. And let's just say that's there. That's how long his hair is at the back. Do we really want it that long? No. So we're going to bring it up even higher. See, that's what it's all about. It's all about trial and error. Have a bit of a play, practice. And remember also, when we do this, you can change it. If you don't like what you've made, change it. If you don't like how high it is, how low it is, you can change it. If you don't like the way it's curved, whatever. It's your amigurumi. It's your little guy. All right, so there's the thread. It goes in there. Just give it a bit more of a tug because that's, you're going to lose a bit pulling it up, and that's how long it'll be. So go ahead, do, oh wait a minute, I'm going to show you how to do it, don't I? You want your threads to come down like so. So you're going to go the opposite way. So take one pin out there. Just remember where you've got it, right there. Pop your hook in like so. Grab a thread. Oh, I'm hoping this is close enough, guys. Let's do that. That's better. I don't know what possessed me to give him orange hair. I just like the colour orange, I suppose. Okay. So later, we're going to fill in all this as well. So all the hair is going to be dropped down. All right, down, 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 down. Then your next row, up the top, down, 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 down. Your next row and your next row and your next row until you cover most of his head. That is why you need a lot of these threads. Okay, so we're going to do that again. We're going to take out the pin. We're going from the top of the head, okay, that way. We don't do it this way and go over because it'll flick it. If we do it this way and go over, we'll flick it over. So we're going from the top of the head, flicking it over that way so it falls downwards. I'm hoping that makes sense. I hope you're not like me who's pulling out all the stuffing. All right. So this is pretty much all you're doing for this row here. Okay, I'm going to do this last one. It's very fiddly for me, guys. This is why I don't like amigurumis. Okay, so do this last row and I shall meet you up when you get down to there. All right, guys, here's his little fringe. Let's have a look where we're at. There's the fringe, it's still there. I'm trying to separate everything now. There's his fringe, right? There's the sides of his hair right there. And there's the underneath part, the back part that we just completed. Don't stress. If you're not happy, fill in some gaps. It's okay. It doesn't matter how much hair you put in, all right? So now I'm not going to fill in any gaps until the very end. And I'll tell you why. Because once we start doing the next row, you might find that you don't want to fill in any gaps. That once you fill in that next row, it starts to look a little bit too thick. Okay? Oh, that's not good. We'll pop that there. That's better. All right? And then you might find that you just don't like it too thick. So you're not going to worry about it. There's your next row. And where I'm sticking it in, where the pins are going, are actually inside. See that little space? They're going inside the space. If you're wondering where they're going, they're skipping a stitch and they're going in the space. All right? I'm hoping this is making sense. We're going to bring this all the way down. Yeah, that's it. So now we're going to do exactly the same. We're going to pop our hook this way because there's the top of the eyes there, so that when we pull the loop through, it drops at the back. When we get to here, just probably the next row, you might want to pull some down this way. So you can have some dropping this way, some going that way, and so on. But in the meantime, these ones here, they are going to go to the back. So we are going to pop our hook from the front of the face and pull our thread over. So let's try one. Take the pin out, make sure we know exactly where we're taking it out of. If it helps, you do that so you can see it. Okay, grab one of these threads. We probably don't have a lot of threads, so you're going to need to wrap some more around your coaster or whatever it is that you used. Okay, pull that thread through. Make sure it's all even. And over we go. Whoops, I was out of frame there. Sorry, guys. But see how it's already thickened up and I've only put one thread over it. So don't stress too much if you can see all these gaps. They will be covered. Take that pin out. Whoops, I just lost the space, but I know where it was. I'm not worried. Get another thread, pop it through, and so on. And this yarn keeps splitting on me, and the reason is I'm using a very thin hook. And the thread does call for a 4.5 to 5 hook, and I'm using the 3, of course. Okay, there you go. So now what I would like for you to do is to finish off this row and then meet me up at the end of the row. All right, guys, so this is what we have so far. There's your fringe still there. There's your little sides that you did before, that one there and that one there. Then we did 2 rows of the back. So hey, can you see the back starting to look a little bit nice now? Okay, he looks like he's got a ball patch right there. But we're going to fix that now, guys. We're gonna fix his. Oh, I'm sorry, I've got the giggles now. We're going to fix his little ball patch. All right. Think about whether you want his hair to drop like that on both sides, or whether you want to give him another row to give him another row that way. Or do you want to give him some drops there, some at the back, and then some drops there? It's entirely up to you. I'm going to do a row of drops along here. So I'm going to go like that. There. And there. We might think about that one. All right. So if I want to give him drops there, what I do to one side, I'd like to do to the other as well. So we're going to give him some drops there. One. How many did I do? 3. 2. And 3. All right. So you have the 3 there, the 3 there that I would like for it to come down this way. All right. Okay, so we grab our hook. We've got our face facing that way. We take off that first pin. We're going to do this together. We're not going to go away and do it. We're going to do it together. Grab your thread. I'm hoping this tutorial is coming out, guys, because what I'm doing is I'm forgetting to look into the lens. I'm hoping it's coming out all right. Pull that thread through and it drops down the side. All right. So we're going to do another one. And before we do any more, I'm going to wind some yarn up over our coaster so we can get some yarn coming through. And hopefully you're not splitting the yarn like I'm doing, guys. All right, so I'm not going to do that last one. We're going to make some more yarn. All right, let's grab some more yarn. Grab your little, whatever it is you used. I used a coaster, okay, the back of a coaster. And just wrap, I think, I don't know, 20 or 30 times. It doesn't really matter. And it actually pays to do this loose. I've done it real tight, but it's not very good because I've got to cut along there like that. And I don't want to damage the coaster or whatever it is that you used. There we go. So let's get our last one here. Remember, we are going, oh, too far away. We are going from back to front, so it drops down the front there. Now this one, just be careful because you want to make sure you get that one. It doesn't really matter, again, if it's a little tiny bit crooked. No one's going to know the difference with one little tiny strand. Okay, plenty of thread we've got now. Just occasionally give those threads a tug. Later you can give them all a really big tug. All right, so that's that one there. So we take that pin out right there, pop your hook in. Excuse me, guys, I'm still getting the little remnants of that cold coming out. Okay. All right, thread over, pull it through, give it a tug and drop it down. Okay. All right, and then we get the next thread on and pull that through. So it's starting to become a little awkward for me. I'm assuming it's becoming awkward for you. It may not be. Maybe you're really finding this easy. You know, amigurumi is not for everybody, and it's definitely not for me. But I'm doing it anyway. Because I really wanted him to have hair. You didn't need to put hair. I think one of my subscribers has decided to do a hat. Okay. So you didn't really need to put hair. Or you could put a cap, you could put anything you want. Now, I would still like to bring some of these down the sides there. So I'm going to do what I'll show you is all the pins. I'll pop them in now so you can see it. And these are the ones that I want to have sides to. All of this is going to be down the sides. You don't have to, but this is where I want my sides to be. And I think that's it for the sides there. And then we'll do sides here. Excuse me again. 3, and we got 4, we got 5, have we? There. One more. And there. So I'm going to go and do these now. I want mine to drop that way and that way. So I've got to come from the top and over, top, over, top, over, top, over. I will continue those 2 sections and I'll meet you back. So here we are. I've filled out those sides right there. So they're quite full. I am going to pop another row of fringe this way. I would like to have some fringe. I'm thinking that, see that little gap right there? We're going to fill that gap up. I'm going to go right across there. I still want to leave that little gap there because I want him to have like a little side flick fringe. Like he's got a part that way. All right. Now we are going to fill in all of this as a fringe. So it's going to come forward. All of this as a fringe right there. And then I also want to fill in the fringe across the side there as well. You don't have to. I just want more fringe. I just think that that's not going to be enough. Once we cut it, it's not going to be enough at all. Again, I could make it too fluffy and it'll be no good. But to me, I like it fluffy. I like to have a nice full head of hair. So that fringe there, all of that, that's going to come that way. So your hook is going to go through that way. I'll put another one in there like that. Sounds good. So your hook is going to go in there and go over, in there, over, in there, over. So we'll start with right here. This come right here. Let's get a nice little close up so you can see. When I pop this guy out, I'll pop the hook in straight away so I don't lose the spot, which I think I may have already done. Already lost the spot, can you believe it? Right there. All right, so we grab our thread. It's very fiddly now. There's a lot of pins that are in the way when we do this part here. Pull the loop through and pull it over. And there's more fringe there. All right, I'm going to do the same with the next one right there. And by doing this, we're filling up the gaps. So you're not going to be able to see all those little spaces once we trim our fringe. And then if you trim the fringe and you see a space that you're not happy with, fill it up. Put more fringe in there. It's no right or wrong way of doing this. If you want, you can peg down the ones that you've done or get a lacquer band and just hold them together so they don't get in the way. So pop that one out, pop your hook in right there. It's a lot thicker up the top here, guys, and a lot more difficult for you to pull your threads through. Okay. All right, I'm not going to let you watch me do this whole head, right? So what I want you to do is continue to fill in that gap there. I'll probably put another one right there. I've missed that part right there. So I'm going to continue to fill it in, and I want to come back and see you after we've, oh, you know what? I'm going to pop another one there. That's better. So we're going to fill up all like that. I'm going to fill all of that up, and that's all going to drop towards the front. We're just going to fill in this gap, and I am going to meet you up after we've filled in all this, okay? Here we are with this nice full thick fringe now. So I'm going to fill up the sides again. And these are the sides that go down that way. Okay. In fact, I'm not just going to fill up the sides, I'm going to do a whole row across here. So these ones will be sides. Oh, that's too close. I'm sorry about that. There we go. These ones will be sides right here. And if you want to, you could actually use different color pins to show whether you want it to go sides or whether you want it to go at the back. I think it needs a lot more hair at the back. It's kind of fairly bald at the back. We're going to do that in a minute. I just want to fill up these last few sides because I'm thinking they need a bit more coming out a bit. Okay, it's a little bit less on this side. We're just filling up. It's okay. And the same with you guys. Fill up where you would like your amigurumi doll's hair to sit. I find that's a really big gap in there right there. I'm thinking of popping one in there just because I think there's too much of a gap. And the same with this one right here. I'm thinking there's far too much of a gap. I want to pop one in there somewhere like that. Okay, so that's going to go down. These are going to go to the sides. All right, and then we're going to focus on bringing all of the back down that way and then just the odd strand coming this way. And I'm hoping that's making sense. But let's just focus on this now. You're going to bring your hook this way and down and down and down. Then you turn your amigurumi over. Hook goes this way and down and down and down. And for that last one, that's, you know, got a couple of bald spots right there, bring it this way and pull it that way. That way, if you pull it that way, it's dropping down there. See that really big bald spot right there? We want to fill that up, all right? So go ahead and do your sides and I'll meet you up. All right, guys, here we are. It looks a little bit like a disheveled mess at the moment, but don't stress. That's going to look nice once we're done and we're ready to start combing through and start putting, you know, trimming it, making it look gorgeous. Now, we need to fill in all this. This is where I'm going to leave this up to your discretion. Do you want to make his hair fuller at the back? I would say yes. Do you want to fill in some of these gaps here? I would say yes as well. For now, you need to decide how much of the hair you want to bring back. I would start bringing pretty much all of that there, say there onwards, that way. So let's start pinning. Oh, that just came through right through to the side and nearly pinned me then. All of this bit here is going to go down the back. All right, it's not going forward. It's not going on the sides. It's all going to go down the back. There. 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 Again, it's your discretion, you know, if you want to pop some more in front and make this massive full head of hair, full head of fringe, I should say, or as the, you know, some countries call it bangs, then fine, by all means. Give him the fringe, give him the bangs, whatever you like. But this is how much hair I want to go backwards, all right? Let's fill in this. We're bringing them at the back. So if we want to bring them at the back, we start from the forward and work that way. Right there. Pop your hook in there. Grab a thread. Pull it through. Being careful not to split it like I'm almost doing. Straighten it up a little. And then just pull those loops through. And there you go. And it goes through to the back. So you're pulling it forward and it going over. All right. So go ahead, do all that, and I'll meet you up in a few minutes. Alrighty, guys. Here we are at the end of that back section right there. What we're going to do right now is fill in this bald patch. I know, right? Again, you can use your discretion with this, or you could just go for it. Pop your hook in any space you like and start filling up. Now this area here is really, really tight. It's got the top bit where we, you know, did the very, very tight section up the top. So that's why it's a little bit difficult for me to pop my hook through. So I haven't filled in those gaps in that area too well. Okay. All right, there you go. So just go ahead, keep filling in your gaps, and yeah, and I'll meet you up when we don't see as much yellow up the top. All right, so keep filling in the back, doing this way, that side, whatever you want to do. and I will meet you up. I wouldn't do any more in the front. I think there's far too much in the front. And once we trim that fringe, it might be a little bit too thick anyway. So don't do too much more in the front. Do as much more in the back as you can and the sides as you can. I think you could probably do with a little bit more on the sides. You know, where you see, you put your hand over it, and where you see really thin, I can see really thin there. I can feel really thin there. Feel really thin there. Maybe I might put a couple there that goes down that way, a couple down that way, and then the rest will just go that way. All right. So continue filling in that gap, his bald spot, and I shall meet you up at the end. All right. So here we are at the end of our little patch right there. I could probably fit a couple of more in there, which I probably will. What I'm finding is, and I'm loving this big mop that we have, don't stress, guys, we are going to give it a nice cut. It's going to look nice in the end, trust me. What I am thinking is I find it a little bit thin at the back. Got all this bald patch happening here. So I would like to actually fill in some of this. So if you want, entirely up to you, don't have to, I would come across this way and fill up as much as we can. Well, in your case, you don't need to. Yours truly is going to do it. I just find it a little bit too thin, and I want to thicken up this little area right here. Okay, so I'm going to do as much as I can there. All right, like that. And again, don't stress, we are going to cut it. Okay, but I just want to thicken that back area. If you look carefully, the back area is quite floppy. So if we fill up that area, it'll thicken it up a bit and lift it all up. All right, so let's go ahead and have a bit of a fill up. You don't have to, but yours truly is going to do that right across, say there. All right, you need to start from the top of the head and pull it down that way. Top of the head, pull down, top of the head, pull down, like so. Let's just take one out and let's do one. Pop it in there. Oops, it's probably not low enough. Pop it in there. Right there. Grab your little thread. Pull it through. Make sure it's fairly straight. And pull your thread through. Whoops. Okay, do as many as you want across there, and if you want to come a little bit lower, you can. It's entirely up to you, and I'll meet you up at the end, and then we'll start talking about how we're going to cut the hair to make it nice and straight. Okay, go ahead, fill up your gaps, and I'll meet you up. All right, so here we are at the end of our mop. That's what I'm going to call it at the moment, because that's pretty much what it looks like right now. So my ends weren't that even. But I'm not really stressed because we are now officially going to play hairdresser. So again, this is up to you and your discretion. I want to do kind of like a little drop to the side. So I'm going to just straighten his hair as best we can. Okay. So it's going down at the back a little bit. Okay. Now I will probably put more hair at the back for him. I think I will, because I'm still finding that a little bit thin, and actually it's dropped a bit short there. So we're going to make his hair as short as possible. So I kind of made those ends a little bit too long. You don't have to have your guy's hair short. Okay, he can have nice long hair if you like, whatever you want. It's up to your discretion. But I do like it to go around like that. If it doesn't look good in the end, we'll straighten it up a little bit more and trim it a bit more. Now we're going to work on this little flick fringe that I want to have here. I'm going to start off slowly first because we don't want to cut too much. Okay, start off slowly. I want to make it so we can still see his eyes. We can't see his eyes right now, can we? There we go. He's getting there. We're going to go around a bit here. I probably could have made his hair a lot shorter to begin with, so it doesn't look so messy, but that's okay. I feel like a hairdresser, I really do. How's he going? He looks so cute. There you go. Whee. I'm making a mess. So I still want to trim it because I want to see his eyes. So go ahead and keep trimming your amigurumi until he is the length that you want him to be. And I shall meet you up at the end of this tutorial. And there you have it, guys. He's all trimmed and he looks gorgeous. It's a little bit crooked. We're going to get him all straightened up with the scissors. And that's the end of that. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you so much for enjoying this with me. Don't forget, we are going to spend our very next tutorial doing attaching the head to the blanket, now that the blanket is finished as well. So that very next tutorial will be the last tutorial for this series. Yay! Has taken a while, hasn't it, guys? So thank you so much for watching, and guess what, guys? Ciao for now.